Morning guys, Mark Ferrasci, Pro-Tech Dog Training, on the road as usual. It's the weekend, so if you guys know me by now, on the weekends I'm heading out to do bite work somewhere. So I'm going to a good friend of mine's place that owns a dog training firm that does a lot of ring sport. He's into the Doberman breed, is his breed of choice. His name's Daryl, and Daryl travels the world promoting ring sport. He brings ring sport to other places, and usually has enough connections. Been doing it for as many years as he has. He's done ring sport over in Cuba, of all places. You know, places like that. He went over to Vietnam a while back. Took a group of guys over there to Vietnam to do ring sport and kind of promote the sport. He's good people. You know, I've known him for a good 20, 30 years. He goes back to the days of Cesar Millan. He used to hang out in the alleys of South Central with us and all the inner city guys that used to do a lot of the street type training that we used to do back in the day with the bite work. And he's one of the old crowd. There's a lot of them here in LA that go back 20, 30 years. And he's one of these guys. Ex-Marine, went through the Marines. When I knew him, he was just a kid, so he hadn't hit the Marine stage yet. We go that far back, you know. I mean, it's funny, I was just thinking about it just now as I'm thinking about Daryl and how many of the people that we touched that actually went into the industry in one way or another. Another gentleman friend of mine who owns a doggy daycare with his wife right now. It's kicking butt. He's more towards Hollywood area. And but he went into the industry and ended up going in and doing bomb dogs, and was working with procuring the dogs over in Europe. And he'd go over on buy trips and get the dogs for a large bomb dog company. And that's probably 10, 15 years ago. How many years ago he did that, I don't know. But I didn't know him at the time. I knew him before that. You know, we were all kids wanting and dreaming and wanting to get into the industry. And so he's made something of himself, and he's doing real good with his business. But he also did a lot of decoy work with a lot of the law enforcement in the LA basin. And he's pretty well known as a decoy in their community. And we're all getting a little older now, so we're slowing down a little bit, but we're still out there doing our thing, you know, playing with the dogs. So it's kind of cool. So I was talking about that puppy that I got a return on that was in my last litter. And one of the things you hear dog trainers and you hear us talking about when we do these videos all the time is critical development stages, right? And this is a great example of a dog that missed a critical development stage. This lady drove in from the Midwest back in Virginia somewhere and drove all the way across country with her son, and she has a cabin up in the hills above Tahoe that the family has, and they kind of do a family share with it. So she's got this piece of property, so she figured grab her son. The pandemic's going on, we need to avoid that, and we'll just go up and hide in this cabin up in the hills above Tahoe and try to wait for this thing to take its course. So she goes and she comes in and she buys the puppy, and then she goes up into the hills and she doesn't get the dog out for what she needed to, which was development of socialization, right? People, places, and things. That development is very important, especially with a dog that has an edge like the dogs that I have. You're talking high energy outflow. That's the word I was looking for. High energy outflow dogs they're very much on edge, and if you don't do the right thing, especially with the Dutch Shepherds, they're very intelligent. They can learn the bad things just as fast as they can learn the good things. And in those imprint periods, because you have a dog that's such on an edge, if you don't do the right things to develop them through that and give them the strength they need in those critical development stages, that's why we call it a critical development stage. If you miss it, you very well could end up with a dog with problems for the rest of its life and not be able to recover the dog, okay? So that's what we talk about when we say recovering, right? When I say I need to take this dog out, the dog is scared of everything. It barks and it goes off on everything that comes towards it, okay? And it's a little 5-month-old puppy, 4.5, however months old that litter is. I think it was July 2nd or something they were born. So, and this is gonna be a lot of work. And as there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to recover, even with the skills that I have, I'm still going to have a hell of a time trying to recover this high energy outflow little puppy that is very impressionable, okay? They're as good as they are because of the fact that they are impressionable, because you have that being able to mold and shape, okay? But it's on a razor edge. If you don't do the right thing, you're going to screw that dog up for the rest of its life, okay? And that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm frustrated, I'm upset about it, but there's not much I can do, you know? If the dog does have a physical problem, she had the right to make a return. You know, I can't take that away from her. It irritates me that I get back a mental midget and I have to work so hard to recover the dog. But she may end up being a very good dog. Who knows? It's going to take me probably 3 weeks, 3 weeks is on the low side. It's going to probably take me a month and a half to 3 months, 90 days to fix this. And I mean every day, going to Tractor Supply, Home Depot, and just saturating this dog with environmental and getting the dog through this and keep trying to build it till the dog gets through it and either grows through it or doesn't. Okay, but what's the chance that you're going to be able to recover the dog? Another trainer that I went to yesterday was asking me, do you think I'm going to be able to repair it, is what his question was. And he asked me, did I think I could repair this? I said probably 75, 85%. But it still means that dog is going to end up having this with it for the rest of its life because you didn't have a skilled person on the other side of the leash to develop this puppy, and they didn't have the right environment, right? And that's why I try to tell you folks, but you guys don't understand. These dogs are all that and then some, but they take a skilled hand. They really do. And that skilled hand will make all the difference in the world. You'll end up with dogs, and you see them all the time. Dutch Shepherds are out there serving the military and the police and kicking ass and taking names. But that's because they've been developed over in Europe. That's why they call them green dogs, by people that know what they're doing, that are in the sport of KNVP, Schutz, and whatever they're into, that are developing these puppies because they understand critical development periods, okay? And I keep saying it to you folks, but you have to understand this takes skill, okay? Or it takes you having somebody around you that can give you the advice and help you build this dog. It's not, you know, it's not just, it's not rocket science, don't get me wrong, but it takes a lot of instinct and feel or guidance from a professional that's going to be able to help you build this puppy and get them through their critical development periods. I've got a guy here in LA that's got one of my Dutchies, and he got referred to me from one of the top trainers in LA. And the guy is doing it. He's out there working. I see him all the time. I've been doing some videos of the puppy. His name is Bane. And Bane is going to kick ass and take names because of this guy's enthusiasm and want to get into this and to put in the time and the energy that it takes, okay? And he's doing it. And he's doing a great job with Bane, okay? But I'm sure that Bane is a challenge for him, okay? Because it's not a dog that a layman or an amateur should have. And I keep trying to tell people that, you know? So take my word for it. These are great dogs, but they have to be handled properly and developed properly. They're not just like an Australian Shepherd or a cattle dog. They're not like cutting through butter. They're on edge. They've been bred to do a job, and that high energy outflow and that imprint period when they're babies, all the way up to 6 months and a year and a half, that's critical. Okay, it really is. So just keep it in mind, and as usual, I'm giving you what I'm having go on in my world, and you get to experience it through me because I'm giving you this feedback, the things that I'm dealing with, right? So I thank you very much, guys. I'm on my way to do bite work, like I said, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.